Let's make a 2D platformer in Unity. Follow these steps. Create a folder that will be for game assets. In this folder, you will import all the assets that you created before. I will share the link where you can download them. Make sure to select Sprite Mode to Multiple, so that you can slice all the separate sprites in one sprite sheet. And you should do it with other sprite sheets that you have imported. Why is this step important? That's because you need to import assets before you start making a 2D game. First, click and drag the background, then drag the platforms, and you are good to go. You can also edit some of the sprite sheet elements like this platform. And arrange it as you like. Now drag the player sprites onto the scene layout and add an animation. These are the keyframes. The keyframes are the sprites of the player. Of the sprite sheet, you should modify them to make the animation look stunning. Then add other clips. The running sprite sheet would be kinda difficult, because that's too fast and you need to change it. Adjust it so that the run animation looks smooth, like running in real life. And one more thing, add the jump animation. However, the jump animation is tricky to make. Create it as you like. Simply click and drag the sprites. You can select multiple sprites at once, but be careful, you would need to rearrange them and move them so that you can get an optimal result. Add rigid body 2D, add box collider 2D. These are very important to define the physics of the player and so of the platforms. They should have a 2D collider. Now add a movement script, because without that script we won't be able to move our player. Private, rigid body, 2D, because it's 2D element, RB. Private, float, direction, equals 0f. After initializing the rigid body by getComponent, set direction to input getAxis row and its horizontal axis. Unlike the previous 3D tutorial series, there is no vertical, just horizontal. RB velocity new vector 2 because of 2 dimensions. Direction multiplied by move speed. Don't forget to add it. Private float move speed or speed. You can name it no matter how. Now the move speed with rigid body velocity, because that adds the velocity and gravity to the player. Save the script and go back to Unity. As you can see, the movement is good, but the rotation has to be frozen. Now the player moves better, and it does not rotate like the previous way. Input get button down, jump, which is the space bar on your keyboard. RB velocity new vector 2, RB velocity x, and the private float jump speed, because we take the jump speed of the player. Serialize the field to make it available in the inspector, and add jump speed. Go back to Unity and test. The player jumps too high. Let's reduce the jump speed. Now it jumps too low. Now this is fine. Go back to the Visual Studio and add bool is grounded, because without that your player would be jumping in the air until it reaches the outer space. Please add is grounded, but not the bool. Add another bool instead of saying is grounded. Add it after void update, because that's how we define how the player touches ground. Bool is grounded. And inside the bool is grounded, which comes after void update, return physics 2D box cast, because it casts the box collider every time the player touches the box collider. Add private box collider 2D, name it call, or whatever you want. Call, bounce, center, call, bounce, size 0f, vector 2 down, which is when the player touches down, 0.1f, and finish the brackets by ground layers. Private layer mask ground layers. Save the script and go back to Unity. Change the default layer to ground. Add user layer 3 to be ground. Select multiple platforms and select layer to ground. Now go to the player script and set layer mask to ground. Now, please, before trying to start this script, don't forget to add getComponent box collider 2D and serialize all the private fields. Now when you click play and try to jump, you can only jump once. Perfect! But there's a lot more to do to make this look like a real game. If you want to learn more Unity tutorials, consider subscribing to my channel. Have a good day.